tell those guys in Memphis when they're all on me all the time, media, you know what I used to say? And just remember that I wait for you. I give you as much time as you need. So when you're bashing me, don't forget that, because the next coach coming in he might not have that same kindness, So, but anyway, that being said, really had a good win on Tuesday. I think Clemson's really good. I thought it was a good basketball game, and we obviously played well and made some shots. Obviously, our offense. I don't know where exactly we are in numbers wise, but best we've been in my 4 years 3-point shooting, and best we've been just overall offensive numbers in our 4 years here. So especially within conference play, and that's part of the reason we're having good success. And obviously, we defended at a high clip on Tuesday with defending the 3. Regarding Saturday, Miami. I mean, look, they've got some real young guys, but they are very talented. It's a good basketball team. Coach Larinaga's, obviously one of the best coaches in the league, one of the best coaches in the country. Has done it a long time. Been extremely successful. They got one of the best point guards in the country, if not the fastest point guard in the country, and Likes. I don't want to mispronounce the name. Number 1 is an incredible shooter, knows how to play. I love the. I don't want to mispronounce his name, but the Wong kid, he could. I loved him in high school. We tried to recruit him. He can shoot it. And I think the last 5 games he's our leading scorer, if I'm not mistaken. McGusty's good. I mean, they've got good talent, good players. Beverly, we recruited him. I think he's good. So they're a good basketball team. We're going to have to play really, really well on Saturday, and we play it Saturday at 8. By the way. Initially, the game was at noon, so if we get that out there, the game's at 8 p.m.
Oh, it was 6 or 8.
Oh, it was 6 or 8.
Yeah,
okay, because somebody asked about noon. That was why. Okay, 6 or 8. It's 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay, glad that clarification.
What you talked about, Likes being one of the fastest guards in the league. Does that affect your approach as to how you play defense?
No, I mean,
whether it's a zone or a man.
No, I mean we play a lot of great guards in this league, and we're going to have to play, whomever we're, going against. You got to be good whether you're zone or man. You're going to have to be good against it. But there's a lot of good and great guards in this league, and Likes is obviously one of the best in the country.
So am I right in saying that even though your guys played a great second half man to man, the matchups are more important than?
Well, I'll tell you, I thought we played a great half defense the first half too. We held with 29 points,
right.
And we guarded the 3 well. So yeah, we're matchups, but just being able to guard, because defense is still about team defense too.
Right.
We got to be able to guard, and we want to play well as we come this stretch run here. I mean, there's a lot to play for. I mean, if we could get to 9 wins, in the first 18 games, that's one heck of a deal. That's never been done at Georgia Tech within 18 games, and then obviously there's a lot to play for on this Saturday, and there's a lot to play for Miami, and so we're both fighting for seeding. We're both fighting for trying to, as Mark Packer and Wes Durham call it, the glob. There's a lot of teams there, and we're all kind of shaking and maneuvering, and the only way you can move up is to win. The only way you move down is to lose. So there's a lot at stake both for Georgia Tech and Miami.
Normally when we see the players come in before practice, they're pretty quiet, don't say too much. Today, they seem like they're really upbeat. I mean, did that win really have a big effect on them?
We guys have, we got a good group of guys, and they've played hard, and I think it was a great win for Georgia Tech. And obviously Clemson's kicked our butt the last few years, so it was a great win for Georgia Tech, and we're going to see them again in about a week and a half, or less than a week and a half, a little over a week. So we just got to keep getting better and seeing if we can try to get a win on Saturday.
Is the NIT something you're playing for?
We're playing for the NCAA Tournament. I mean, that's what we want to do.
Right.
We want to. I mean, obviously playing the postseason. The objective is to play in the NCAA Tournament. If you're not going to play in the NCAA Tournament, you want to play in the NIT, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So, but our first food of thought is to play in the NCAA Tournament.
Do you look at it as you'll probably need to win the tournament to get in at this point?
I really studied. I really looked at it a lot because I was last night, Kim, because I was looking at how is NC State. They say they're in. We beat them twice, and kind of the same.
Yeah.
But this net ranking, and it's not the only thing to go by, but I think it's probably used heavily with team sheets and all that. And you'd have to ask me at the end of the next 3 games, because it depends on what happens Saturday, Wednesday, Friday. I mean, that would change my answer.
Okay.
But what I would tell you is I really studied it, and I have a good understanding of it. And two things. One is, for whatever the league as a whole, we have the best league in the country. However, us included, we probably didn't win some outside the whole league. I'm saying probably didn't do as well as maybe the previous years of non-conference games, because that really, obviously, that goes a lot in the nitty-gritty sheets, they call it, team sheets. And then the second thing is, we played less quad ones opportunities than you usually get in ACC play. Like, winning at North Carolina that's usually been a quad one. This year it ends up being a quad two. That makes sense, so that what you really need is your conferences, and this includes Georgia Tech, because we didn't do our part either. You got to win those non-conference games. That's the whole thing when you look at it, because that gets those more opportunities for quad ones. And I really think they really look at what you do in the quad ones.
Yeah.
And I really think if you're from a Power 5 conference, because they say, okay, you're getting those opportunities,
Right.
So, but that will become a moot point. What do we need to do if we don't take care of business on Saturday?
Yeah.
That would then, if we don't take care of business on these next couple of games, then that might be the scenario.
Right. Well, if that were to not happen, would that be an accomplishment you'd like to get into?
You know what I think would be an accomplishment, because I set look, I want us to get to the NCAA tournament.
Right.
But I said our thing is not to play on Tuesday. My whole goal for this year is we got to be above. We can't be on Tuesday.
Right.
We got to finish 9 or above. And I usually believe that if you're in the top 9, you're either going to have a shot for the NCAA tournament, or you're going to be in the NIT. If that makes sense. So I think if we're in the top, if we finish in the top 9, then I think it's been a successful season, to the point that we've talked about that from day one. And yes, we want to be in the NCAA tournament. That's the ultimate goal. But I feel if you're in the top 9, you've put yourself in maybe this year's an abnormality because of the numbers, I guess. But if we're in the top 9 after we play Clemson next Friday, and in the league standings we finish the top 9, that means we're in the right. In my vision of where I believe we should be and how I believe when I took over, we're moving in that direction on getting to where we need to get to, and that's a big step for us.
Right.
Do they still weigh how well you're playing at the end of the year? Or is that
I don't think that's
not part of the equation.
That's not part of the equation anymore. I think it's pretty. And I've talked to people who've been on the committee, and like I told Ken this, the preseason. I mean, they came in the room and said North Carolina State and Clemson didn't get in last year based on non-conference strength of schedule. So I said if we happen to be on that bubble, our who we went out and played, but because last year only 7 teams got in from the ACC, 8 and 9 didn't, but 8 and 9 got in the NIT. So 8 and 9 were on the bubble.
Right.
So the way I look at it, top 9, I just think this year is a little bit of an abnormality based on the numbers. But look, if we're not playing on that Tuesday, we set a goal out that this can't happen. For us to take the next step in our program, this is where we need to be at. And we still have games to get that done, but that's a big step for us.
Discuss James Banks. He didn't foul out of this recent contest. Clemson only 2 fouls, played 30-plus minutes. Discuss his performance, and he talked about being aggressive, but not being too aggressive. How do you work with him on that? We use the terminology "protect your first foul." Okay.
We just protect your first foul. Treat your first foul just as like it's your fourth, and it was good for him to do that.
We talked to James about the feel on the floor at the end of the games when you're trying to close out a game. As a coach, can you tell in the huddle where they're at,
If we get 7 kills, I know we're close to it. That's, and Saturday we got 6, or Tuesday we got 6. So that gave us the best chance to win.
And is that part of that, just learning how to do it?
Yeah, and that's continuing learning how to win.
How's Christian doing?
He's doing fine. It's not, I think it's the best thing for him because, if I knew it, if we could do it all over again, maybe I wouldn't redshirt and played him this year,
Right.
But that being said, I believe what's best for him, because his long-term development was when he's 22 or 23, Ken, I think he's got a chance to be really good, be strong. But that's when he's a redshirt junior, redshirt senior, I think he's got a chance to be really good. And I love Christian, incredible young man. It's just, can he see that? My vision, is our vision's a lot, because I see the big picture with him. But I'm a big fan of Christian's.
It looked like the defensive end of the floor was one area where he needed to develop. Has he made that?
Yeah, a lot of stuff we're doing, he doesn't play offense, just straight defense. It's been really good for him. It's helped his rebounding, it's helped his toughness, it's helped his defensive lateral quickness. It's been good.